Hello, language lovers, and welcome to today's live broadcast. Today we are talking about how you can love learning English. So I'm going to talk about why I called my online business Love Learning English. We're going to talk about love, but not the love that we all know as being love. So I'm not talking about falling in love is the only way you can learn English. In fact, I don't think it necessarily helps. My husband speaks French fluently. He doesn't really help me learn French. Yes, he talks to my daughter in French, so I can hear them speaking French, but I don't think our love for each other is going to improve my French. It's more about what I love doing. So before I tell you about love and learning, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to my channel so that you can be kept up to date. Every week I do a live broadcast about something interesting language related, maybe some language learning tips or maybe some phrasal verbs or expressions. Anything that is interesting and new, I will do a podcast, a YouTube video about. Also, you can ask me questions and I will answer them in a live YouTube video. So if you'd like me to answer one of your questions, just write it in the comments or the chat. You don't have to do it now, you can do it later, and I'll answer it in the next session. Okay, so I can see we have 2 viewers right now. Hello. So I want you to think about what you love. Okay, it could be anything, just one word. You don't have to write a sentence, and write in the chat box. What do you love doing? Don't say I love learning English. Say, I love cats, I love reading. Okay, so one thing in that chat window. I'm going to have a quick look now, see if you've written anything. I think there's a delay, so let's just see. Hi, Aggie. So Aggie, if you could think of one thing you love and write it in the chat box, and we'll talk about it at the end. Okay. So why is my company called Love Learning English? Well, it's because I discovered, I discovered that if I did the things I loved, my language would improve. Okay, I spent years, I'm not kidding, years in school, then 10 years after that, doing things I hated, thinking that that's what learning language was all about. Drilling grammar, memorizing vocabulary lists. I hated it. I wasted money on terrible teachers who thought that that was the way to learn as well. I had one teacher who made me memorize furniture vocabulary for 6 weeks. So I hate memorizing vocabulary now. I have found some great ways to do it. It's still a bit boring, but I've noticed I've noticed how successful it was. So that in hand with something that I actually love really helped improve my French. So what I'm saying to you is think of the thing that you love doing and incorporate that into your language learning. Okay. And also think about it like this. You need to play with your English, okay? Think about if you are learning a musical instrument, or if you are learning ice skating or a sport. You take lessons, you practice, but ultimately you're doing this sport or you're playing this musical instrument because you love doing it. So you just play the guitar because you love it. You're not learning anything new. You're not practicing. You don't care if you make mistakes. You just play that guitar and you thrash around and you sing and you just enjoy it. And that is where you make the real improvements. So you can practice, you can drill, you can take lessons all you like. But if they're hard work, they take energy and you don't really love it, it's not going to work as much as the time when you just play. Okay. So for me, playing with language is sitting and watching movies. I love French movies, and it's amazing how much I can understand now in a movie with the transcripts. because I love watching those movies. And I have learned so much from watching movies, and I know that a lot of people do. It's a myth when people say, oh, you can't learn from watching movies. Yes, you can, because it's something you're really engaged in because you love it. Okay, so think of that one thing that you love doing and apply that to your language learning, and you will find that the other things that are more difficult, you can drop some of them. Okay, so if you spend your life drilling grammar, please stop doing that right now. It's horrible and you hate it. Yeah, you might need to do it occasionally, you know, once a month, or if you really want to, once a week. But start doing the things you love. Start playing with the language. Sing to yourself if you love singing. Make up stories in your head if you love reading books. Read books. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly have a look at the chat box and see if anyone, Aggie, hi. Aggie has said she loves reading books, and I know that reading books has really helped her to improve her English. So I now see we have 3 viewers, so can everybody think about what they really love doing? It doesn't have to be something typical like watching movies or reading books, and we'll think about how you can apply that to your language learning. Maybe you love cats. How can loving cats help improve your English? Well, I have one answer for you right away. Talk to your cats in English. Simple. Okay, so do we have any more answers? Does anyone else want to write in the chat box what they love doing? You can just write one word as for what you love doing. I have one student who loves making YouTube videos, and she practices her English by making her YouTube videos and speaking in English. And she does little DIY videos, and they're fantastic. And she uses those videos to practice her English, show people how she's improving and the language that she knows, and people can make comments. So it's super important to do things you love. And you will find that the more you do that you love, the more you will improve. I promise you that if you spend a week drilling grammar, you will not learn as much as if you spent a week doing what you loved, reading books, watching movies, talking to your cat, making YouTube videos. Yeah, so, okay, so we have Farhan. I would like to improve my listening comprehension. Farhan, what do you love doing? Maybe you love listening to music. Maybe you love playing music. Think about something that you love and how can you apply that to your listening comprehension. Unfortunately, cats don't talk back to us, but it's really great practice. So if you love your cats, you love your dogs, talk to them in English. I talk to my daughter in French. It definitely helps me with my French. I don't know if it helps her with her French, but yeah. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I hope that's given you a little bit of an idea about why my business is called Love Learning English. Okay, ultimately, my lessons, my philosophy, everything is about doing what you love and get rid of those things you hate, because I know that I was learning French for 20 years doing things I hated, and I kept on doing it and I got nowhere. My spoken French was terrible. Then in the last 2 years, I realized, hang on a minute, let's do something that I love doing, watching movies. That's a major thing. And it improved me so much. Also listening to audiobooks, that really helped. But like I said, it's like a musical instrument. You take lessons, you practice, but where you really improve is when you just play for fun, play for love. Okay. Okay. So great. I hope that that's given you some ideas on how to change your learning mindset. If you subscribe to me, so down there's that big red subscribe button, click subscribe. And every week I can tell you more tips, more ideas for changing your learning mindset, for improving your fluency. Okay, so let's see the comments. Has anyone else written about what they love doing? There's Christoph. Hi, Christoph. So I know, Christoph, you love skiing and mountain biking. So how can we apply skiing and mountain biking to language learning? So in this sense, read skiing blogs, watch skiing movies in English. Okay, so you love watching skiing movies, you love reading about skiing, do it in English. Okay, so yeah, I think that's my takeaway. I'm nearly at the end. Do what you love. If you have a hobby, mountain biking, cats, anything, try and find a way of applying that to your language learning. Throw out those things you hate and start doing more of what you love. Start playing with the language. Okay, so one more thing, I've asked you to subscribe. I'd also love it if you went to my website, www.lovelearningenglish.com. You can subscribe to my newsletter there, and then you will get my email address and you can send me a question. I would love to answer your questions in some live YouTube broadcasts. Okay, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you can find a way to love learning English, and I will see you next week. Thank you and bye-bye.